It's on! Hey! It is bloody cold out here.
Welcome to How Do You Say Yaros?
How do you say Yaros? Welcome.
And
Welcome.
We're gonna talk about something today. What are we gonna talk about?
We're talking about being sick. That, right now we are filming this. It is mid-February in New Jersey, which is terrible. Jersey's the worst.
Oh, get out of here.
Yes,
you
it
love
is.
it.
No, I do not.
It's blessed you so much.
I've got married here. That's it.
You're welcome.
Not.
That's it? That's it? You love it so much. Pennsylvania never did that much for you.
What?
Yes.
That's an absurd life. It gave me my life.
That's it.
Yes, my ability to breathe, to be educated.
Compared to your marriage, that's,
I couldn't be here if I...
potatoes.
Well, anyway, we're going to just disagree about that radically.
We'll move on. So we're going to talk about having a new experience together.
Absolutely. It's called being sick.
Yeah.
And it is the best and the worst.
Well, honestly, we're not sick very often.
No, well, I mean, actually, this year we've had a couple,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, although I don't think we are normally that sick, this year we had, I would say, 3 major sicknesses.
Yeah, we've had some moments. So
We had some moments.
But we haven't experienced all the sicknesses together.
No, not all.
So, for example,
Yeah.
I don't think we've experienced, having, throw up together. Having to throw up.
No, I have not thrown up.
No,
have you thrown up?
I haven't thrown up with you there, or you needing to help me or something like that.
No.
We haven't had that.
There's not much you could do when the other person's throwing up.
I know, but
Yeah,
still,
that's
we still haven't
one-man
had that
show.
situation.
Yeah, that's
no, you do have to. Sometimes you have to clean it up if they if
if
they don't
miss.
make it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we haven't had that yet.
I was thinking the actual act itself.
Oh, well, even the act itself, no, but even if you make it to the toilet, then the person might need to
Very
get
true.
you something to kneel on, or another bucket for after you throw up. There's things.
Yeah.
There are things
Okay, yeah.
that need to happen, but we haven't done that.
No,
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I hate throwing up. Not a fan.
I enjoy throwing up.
I do not like it. But anyway, we haven't had that. Woo!
Yeah.
Diarrhea. Have we had that?
Oh.
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Nope, thankfully.
No.
And then, okay, so what we have experienced is...
chronological order.
Yes.
I had an appendicitis at the end of June last year, and
right.
so June 2019.
That's right.
Then?
And then I had a thyroid removed. My thyroid removed, not a thyroid removed.
The thyroid.
I had that removed. So, and then in July, and then
in February, I got the flu.
That's right. That's right.
It flew by.
So, let's see. Okay, should we... What do we want to say? What we learned in each of them, or what we noticed, what we observed?
So what did we learn from your thyroid coming out? The grave.
Oh, well.
It was a grave scenario.
Ooh,
there's your mobile.
Oh, that's my phone. That's fine. What did we learn from my? Okay. Well, we definitely.
Situation.
Oh, you know what we definitely learned was to ask. So we asked a ton of questions before I got my surgery because it was a big decision. We had kind of been making that decision for actually a couple of years to try to decide because there's a couple ways you can destroy your thyroid and blah blah blah. So you can either do radioactive iodine, become a superhero later,
hey-o.
Or you can just have surgery and remove it.
Yep.
I chose that. And, we chose that because we talked about it for a long time. And we asked my doctor a lot of questions. And my doctor was fantastic, I have to say. Amazing surgeon that did it. And also I have an amazing endocrinologist who helped me make the decision.
That's a $5 word right there.
But what we did learn, I think, from my little surgery was we should have talked to a nurse before doing the surgery. Do you remember this? Because I, after the surgery, was in a ton of pain.
Yeah.
And I had talked to one person and they said there was some pain, but the doctors never mentioned it really. We had a wedding that week and they were like, yeah, you're going to be able to go. It'll be fine. And I was like, okay, I'm just making sure you understand. When I say go to a wedding, I mean dance hard at the wedding. These are
Gabby
family.
is a dancer.
I will be dancing hard, full body dancing. I even showed him. I showed him some of the dancing.
Flailing all over.
I did. I showed him my dance. I showed him my moves.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, you could definitely do that. It's cool. And he said he had some good moves. We had a whole thing. Okay. So, I was able to go to the wedding, and I did. I was able to dance. I was in a ton of pain, though.
That's fair.
So, I did it, though. It was fine.
Yeah.
But I think, so then after I was in a lot of pain, and I was talking to the nurses a lot after the surgery, because that's who you spend time with, not really the doctors after they handle their business. And the nurses, I was like, is this normal? Like, talking to them all this stuff. They're like, yeah, of course. Like, you should expect this for this many, like, weeks and blah, blah. And I was like, what? Like, so I should have talked to a brilliant nurse. Love the doctors. They were great for their job. But the nurse would have been able to really prepare me for the aftermath of the surgery.
Okay, so you're saying doctors are accurate about a lot of things.
They're helpful for their thing. It's their lane. But the nurses is the lane that you really care about in many ways for your daily life.
They're telling you what it's like to actually do the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah. And with that, if I had done that, I might have made a different decision to stay in the hospital overnight. Because they asked me my opinion, and I'm still not sure about that. They asked me, I ended up going home, and I was in a ton of pain at home. And because I was like, well, what would they have done for me at the hospital? But
that's true.
They could have done pain management at the hospital. So
yeah,
it's a toss-up. I don't know. I was glad that I was home, though. So there you go.
That is fair.
Yeah. What did you learn from appendicitis?
Oh, that you know what? This is a shout out to all my Minute clinics. The MedExpresses, the urgent cares, the walk-ins. Phenomenal. Who needs a primary when you've got a Minute clinic? Is what I.
It's true.
That I was able to walk in, and I was in pain for a couple days before this whole ordeal, and I thought I just had tummy problems. Like I thought, it was summertime. I heard there was a bug going around, so like, okay, you know what? Totally makes sense if I've got like just an upset stomach. So thought I was gonna go get an antibiotic. The nurse practitioner came in, kind of told her my symptoms. She felt my stomach and said, yep, you got appendicitis.
She felt your stomach?
Yes, she felt my stomach.
What do you mean she felt your stomach?
She felt like right over here where my appendix is to see if there's a swollen organ.
Interesting.
Yes. The medical professional that correctly diagnosed me having an appendicitis felt my stomach. It's very interesting. Either way, person was on point. Said to go right over to Rob. You okay?
Oh yeah, I just dropped some coffee on myself.
Oh boy.
I was really thinking about that nurse. Go on. I was terrified. Go on.
Told me to go right over to the local hospital and tell them you have appendicitis. We're going to give them a call ahead. And let me tell you, they were on point. The doctors there, they took hours to correctly and assuredly diagnose it.
They did take hours.
Well, I guess to be fair,
they have to do some things.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's easy for the practitioner to say that it's appendicitis, but before they go in and skewer you open, they probably they want to make sure.
That was fair. Oh my gosh! So then Adam calls me. He had told me he was going to MedExpress, which was great.
Yeah,
and I was kind of like, whoa, okay, I hadn't realized because we had been in New York for a whole day, all this stuff, and I knew he was uncomfortable, but honestly, we thought it was bathroom stuff. So, but
gotta
then,
make boom boom.
Yeah, so then I'm at work and he calls me. He's like, "Yeah, they told me to go to the ER. They think it's appendicitis." And I knew people have appendicitis. I knew this can be pretty routine and stuff. But I was like, "Oh my gosh, I've got to leave and meet him at the hospital." Which I still agree with myself. I had to take a half day to leave.
I was fine.
But I was pretty calm. But then I went to tell my coworker Erica, and when I went to tell her, I started crying because I was as I was saying he was in the ER and he had to go to surgery, I got upset. So she was so great, calmed me down so that I would drive safe and everything. And then I got there with him. Oh my gosh! Also, so he tells me he's going to the ER. I was like, okay, I'm gonna meet you there. I gotta just take a half day, tell my principal, and all that stuff. And he said, yeah, well, that's fine. I'm going to go home and shower, and then I'm going to go.
I said
you already showered?
I was going home.
You were going home to get your things.
Yeah, it was it's not going to burst in the next 10 minutes.
Well, I didn't know. You never know.
I mean, you don't know, but I made it 4 days at that point, or 5 or actually it was 5 or 6 days at that point.
That's bad. It was a long time.
Yeah, because it was Saturday that we went. So it had already been a number of days. It's I'm going to be here all night. I wanted my iPad, I wanted a book, I wanted my Bible.
Did you use any of that?
Yeah, I used it all.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I've got a long time here. I got to have some reading material.
Fair enough. So he did that, and I was like, just go to the hospital. But he was right. He got all his accoutrements. And then we made it to the ER, and then they did all their tests. And it was hilarious because Adam is like a very fun person to be in the hospital with. First of all, he's very comfortable in the hospital. I think it has to do with you being a pastor because you're just like comfortable there. And then he just makes jokes to all the people coming in to check on him, every single person. And they're like, he
asked them, type of audience.
He asked them all if he'll be able to,
I wasn't joking about
GoPro his surgery.
Oh, I wasn't joking about that.
I know.
That's where people think I'm joking.
That's what was great.
They
would laugh and look at me, and I would just be like, yeah, he's serious.
The doctors, that's
just give him a quick answer so we can move on.
The doctors I got a lot of no's from those people.
Although our final surgeon was so hilarious. He laughed, but he was like looking at you. He took you really seriously.
As he should.
And he was like, which was hilarious because he was the one who talked to you when you were drugged up. So you were really.
I think he knew that if this is so important to me.
That you remembered while you were on drugs, yeah.
That was great.
And he was like very pensive. He's a very serious surgeon.
Yeah.
He was like, well, I see why you would ask that, but I can't do it. But I'll tell you what. I will give you the pictures that I take.
They were great pictures.
Because I have to take pictures.
10-centimeter appendix. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, look at all those birds.
Oh, yeah. No, that was great. Oh, bird lady. I love it. And then he also told me I couldn't go on a kayaking trip the following week. It was honestly, it was devastating.
That was horrible.
That was a tough spell in our marriage.
That was tough.
Solely brought about by me. I was the issue.
Adam desperately wanted to go on a guy's trip. And he really couldn't because he would potentially burst back open the sutures.
You're not supposed to get your it's obviously kayaking. Obviously, you'll be wet. You're not allowed to get your
use force.
You're not supposed to do any type of exercise, and you're not supposed
kayak.
to get your stitches wet. So
it was impossible.
Literally, all the things that I shouldn't do were combined in one package, and I hated my life.
It was very heartbreaking because he loved this idea of the kayaking trip. He had built the idea with other guys, and you could easily say that you were the most excited for this kayaking trip.
I was. I read a book on the entire
read
trip.
A book.
I knew the waterways of the Delaware River like the back. Anyway.
Anyway, but it was brutal. But then, so family was there and everything while we were waiting, and then when it was time for him to go into surgery, do you remember this?
No.
So now we had all been talking and everything while you're waiting for surgery, because you had to wait a while.
Yeah.
And then they were finally like, you're going to be able to go tonight. So then everyone left the room because you were going into surgery soon, and it just left me with you.
Aww.
And you were just kind of resting by then because you had been talking. And
they gave me tons of drugs. It felt great.
Yeah, because you were in a lot of pain. So they kept, having to up the drugs a little bit while they waited for the surgery. So then we kind of dimmed the lights so you could maybe sleep a little before you went in.
Yeah.
And then we realized that I need to take your ring because you can't have you shouldn't wear jewelry into surgery when you're going to be out.
Oh.
So I know you probably don't remember this because you were really on the drugs by then. You were going into surgery in 20 minutes.
Gotcha.
So I get your ring from you, and I'm sitting there in the darkened hospital room, and you're laying there. And oh my gosh, I got so emotional.
Oh, darling.
It was so emotional because you're laying there, you're out kind of, and I'm sitting there in the darkened room, and I've got your ring, which on me is oversized, and I'm holding it on me, and I start crying by myself.
Aww.
It was very melodramatic.
You're adorable.
You would have thought you were going into some
the most
really big surgery. I know, but it's the most routine thing. But I was like, oh my gosh, I could lose him now. I've only had a husband for a little while.
We have a great life insurance policy. Yeah. You'll be safe.
It was
you'll marry again.
It was right. No, I guess it wasn't. It was before our 1 year, so we hadn't even been married a year.
No.
Yeah.
Nah, they would have brought me up.
So,
but anyway, last disease.
Okay, last one.
I was the sickly one this year. I got the flu as well.
Yep.
So, what we learned from this, where I think, I don't know if I learned anything.
I learned about you. I learned about you because you are a very good patient. You're a good patient. I mean, you make a lot of jokes.
That I did go to the Med Express yet again, back to the Minute Clinic, because I tried calling my primary. I do have one of those. And you know what? He was out for back surgery for a month. Holy cow. I finally got this thing, that it'd be great to have a primary doctor.
Would have been nice.
It would, it would have been really reaffirming to say, hey, absolutely, Adam, come in. I'm going to help you today.
Yeah, that would've
and then he's out. So back to the Minute Clinic. They were great.
Yeah, they were great.
Except, I got to tell you, one of the least, not a painful process, but I got to tell you, one of the most uncomfortable processes of my life. Checking for the flu. So if you've never done this, it is, if you've ever seen anything about a mummy, it is very similar to what they do to skewer the brains of the mummy when they're preparing it for the embalming process. They put up like this long pipe cleaner like thing, shove it up your nose, because they need to check to see if you've got it, like your deep-seated muci. And they had to do it twice because the first one didn't work.
Why can't they do the outer muci?
I don't know.
Is muci a word?
I don't think so.
All right.
But
well, it was funny because you went and got yourself checked out, figured out that you had the flu, and I was leaving to come home to meet you, and I was like, should I pick anything up? You're like, I'm already at CVS getting all the things you need. So I was like, wow, okay.
Yep.
Makes my job very easy. So I was like, all right, I'll just meet you at home. And I started, putting some things in the wash in preparation for you coming home, because we figured we had to start cleaning house.
Yeah,
and
that was disgusting.
Yeah. And then when you came home, so then later, do you remember what type of cough drops you bought?
Oh, yeah. I bought the kids' version of the cough drops, which were great. They're literally lollipops.
It was so funny. So I'm like, you should have a cough. So we put the cough drop. So then Adam's just hanging out on the couch like with a lollipop.
It was terrible.
It was so funny because you were sick and you were looking like you were just eating lollipops on lollipops.
And I didn't. They're smaller, so you get.
They are smaller.
They get less cough drop, and also like, I don't want this whole like stick thing in my mouth. It's like, because I hate.
Yeah,
I don't like lollipops in reality that much, or especially these cheap little ones, because then the stick gets disgusting.
Oh yeah, that's true. It gets what else? You used the air purifier. No, not air purifier.
We used the humidifier. It was helpful.
That was awesome.
Vindictive.
That was very good. And you were just a very good patient, I would say.
You're a great nurse. Gabby cared for me.
I really did.
She helped me.
Literally, like the second day you were sick, or no, third day you were sick, you made strombolis for us.
Well, I was feeling great by then. We were doing great.
You were a very good patient. It was very interesting.
But that is what it's like to suffer through some ailments together, I suppose. So you know what we'd love? If you leave a comment, send us an email at howdoyousayyaros@gmail.com. Post in the YouTube or the podcast, and don't forget to like or give us a 5-star review. We'd love to hear about your ailments and what you've learned from being sick with others, from if you're a parent, taking care of your babies. #learning. We will not look up that hashtag. There will be way too many learning. Yeah, too many. But we would love to find out about how you care for those that are infirmed around you. And
adios.
See you later.
Later.
Be ya.